We're cooking up a storm. Today's episode, an easy meal just to get dinner on the table. Our lives are hectic, especially if you have children, right? You're going to basketball, baseball, softball, soccer practice, dance practice, games. Everyone's running, going, but we need to eat, right? So we're gonna make something simple. And I know life sometimes gets sloppy, right? We're gonna make sloppy joes. Sloppy joes. That's what we're gonna make. I love that with Adam Sandler. Billy Madison, great movie by the way. Sloppy joes. Simple ingredients right here. We're gonna start. Now this is some lean sirloin. And by the way, this is a recipe I found a long time ago. Rachel Ray is the one who came up with the recipe. Before we put the sirloin in, I have this on hot. Heated already. We're gonna put a little bit of oil, just about a tablespoon of oil in here. Now this is gonna sizzle. So watch out, because I had this on hot. That's sirloin. So that ground meat is I'm gonna wash my hands since I touched the ground meat. That's a lean meat. So that's like, 93% meat versus fat. Now, if you want to make it, of course that's going to be a little bit more expensive. If you want a cheaper version, you could, but the original recipe did call for the lean sirloin. And I think it does make a difference, but some people like it with a little bit more fat. So this is going to brown, and while it's browning, we're going to add to it brown sugar. And now this is a mixture of brown sugar and steak seasoning, okay? Steak seasoning, it's like a Montreal steak seasoning. I buy it in bulk. I cook all my steaks in it. So this is a mixture of brown sugar and steak seasoning. And while this is browning, this is going to give our beef, our ground meat, some flavor. So it's going to give it a little bit of a sweetness with the brown sugar, and it's also going to give it like that steak seasonings. You're going to taste it when you taste the sloppy joe. It's going to give it that salty kind of peppery, like you're eating a steak, but it's also going to have a sweetness, and that's going to add to the sauce of our sloppy joe. So this has to brown for several minutes. Okay, now that you browned off your ground beef so it's nice and brown and it's not going to kill anyone, you got your veggies. Yeah, we're adding veggies to sloppy joes. This is going to give it some sweetness, that red pepper and a diced onion. So we have this diced up, and we're going to just throw this in the pot. Whoops, that's one for the dog down there. And this all gets incorporated here. We're going to let this cook for about 5 minutes. And one more thing before we let it cook for 5 minutes, Worcestershire sauce. I just like saying Worcestershire. This goes in as well. So this is going to give it some flavor as well. So as you can see, this is not your, open up a can of sloppy joe mix. It's easy, it's simple, but it's there's just a little extra to it, and it's going to taste a lot better than anything you're going to get out of a can, that's for sure. Okay, 5 minutes have gone by, and how you know your onions are done, that when they get like translucent in color, just in case sometimes when you're cooking up a storm like myself, you lose track of time and you forget when you put things in. So when they become translucent, you know they're about ready. This is tomato sauce out of the can. Okay, so here comes our sauce, and to thicken our sauce a little bit, to give it a little bit of thickness, it's plain old tomato sauce, no herbs or anything in it, no Italian seasoning. This is tomato paste, so this is our thickening agent. It goes right in there, and we're just going to stir this together, and all we have to do now is wait 5 minutes, incorporate this all in here, and 5 minutes from now, we're ready to go. Sloppy joes will be on the table. And the great part about this is let's say, you are busy, and this is an easy meal, but you can make this ahead of time. It'll freeze well. We put it in the fridge. People coming and going. Your kids have practice, games, different times. They just come in, reheat up the sloppy joe mixture, and it's a quick dinner. It's super simple, and it's going to taste a lot better than anything out of a can. So we're going to wait 5 minutes until this all gets incorporated. So 5 minutes gone by. This whole dish, what did it take? Like 15 minutes, 20 minutes top to make. It's super simple, super easy. Like to get a nice crusty roll. This may be the largest crusty roll I found at the grocery store. And then what I like to do is I add a little bit of cheddar cheese. If you don't like cheddar, use your favorite cheese. You can omit the cheese, doesn't matter. Use an ice cream scooper. Why am I using an ice cream scooper? Because I'm dirtying up another utensil. I have no clue. It goes on a little easier. Otherwise, you're using the spoon and then it's just like all pouring off the side. But it is a sloppy Joe. It's got to be sloppy. So yes, it is a sloppy Joe. So there it is. Maybe, if you want to put an extra scoop and then it's going to be running down your chin when you're eating it. So remember, cooking up a storm doesn't have to be all that difficult. It can be a nice, gentle breeze like this sloppy Joe recipe. I'm Jeff Oechslein, and we're cooking up a storm.